It's week 1 of the NFL, where division rivals will clash in the NFC West. It's the Seahawks and the Rams, coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today we start the new year with an NFC matchup out west between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. With my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. I had a little more pep in my step this morning. I know you did as well. Here we go.
Yeah, when you went out for your 5-mile jog, you were flying. You did it in record time because you were psyched up about this game. But let's be frank about it. No more radio shows, no more podcasts, no more just predicting what's going to happen. Now we get to see it on the field.
SoFi Stadium. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Well, there you go, Charles, the first of his young career.
And we expect it not to be his last. Very good to get the first one out of the way, though, as he begins his career.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now we're going to get a timeout here, as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Boy, not what you want to see in quarter 1 of the new year. We'll be back. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he is going to have a Rams first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A nice completion there for the first down. And, Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week 1. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game has his team right at the brink of the playoffs. And Deshaun Watson has won division titles after having started from day 1.
A nice throw right there, and these fans getting their first look at their QB1 of the future. And I'd imagine it's got to be a big plus for him to get his first start here in front of that home crowd.
I know there's a school of thought about getting your first start away from home so you don't have the extra pressure of that crowd behind you. But I say ride the wave. Embrace it. Go ahead and play to that level, and I think it's going to benefit him in the long run.
Again, he'll drop to throw, and that is incomplete here.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And the result here, the same as the last play. Another tackle behind the line of scrimmage by this Seahawk defense. The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. They'll drop to throw. That's caught by Howard. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Boy, not what you want to see in quarter 1 of the new year. We'll be back. And Lutz puts this one through. And the Rams have the first points here. It's 3-0. Well, all offseason, probably a lot of thought goes into that first drive of Week 1. They didn't get the touchdown, but at least they got something.
And what I like about it is that they didn't overthink it, because you're exactly right. A lot goes into the offseason, the preseason, to get to that first drive of the regular season. They went right downfield, mission accomplished, points on the board.
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Boy, not what you want to see in Q1 of the new year. We'll be back. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. And a give this time to the tailback. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play. Holding him.
And the Rams got it. They bring him down. Now we're going to get a timeout here, as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Boy, not what you want to see in Q1 of the new year. We'll be back. And some secondary help here for the defense of the nickel. He'll look to throw. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
Lutz with the extra point. And the lead grows to 10-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee, as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he'll need to put that interception out of his mind quickly, because between the field goal and the pick six, they're already looking up at a 2-score differential.
And isn't it interesting that a lot of the time when we talk about having a short memory, they say that's a defensive back, right? Got beat for a touchdown pass, throw it out. Quarterbacks have to do the same thing. They make a mistake, come back and be the best quarterback you were before.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. Will lead to a 4th down. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their 2nd drive of the game. And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
Now back to throw.
Good afternoon, sir.
This down to Akers out of the backfield. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there. On to punt, Jamie Gillen. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter. And a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Here's a 2nd and 7. That completes it again to Metcalf. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? And that was a heck of a play there on the outside.
Partner, sometimes I think on a play like this as a corner, you've got to think to yourself, all I got to do is slow him down so others can come over and support. But in this case, he said, forget that. I've got this. Sorry you had to make the run for nothing, fellas. I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Off the option, it's Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Something to watch here in the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. And it appears we've got a member of the Rams shaken up on that last play. Boy, not what you want to see in quarter 1 of the new year. We'll be back. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. And a quick throw here, that's complete. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. That'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Sliding out of the pocket. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So out now is the Seattle field goal team. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Carlson able to put this one through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll set up a throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Looking to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Fielded at about the 28. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Finding some room at midfield. And he's going to get this one all the way down to the Rams' 5. 40 yards for him on the ground in his first quarter. He has been tremendous to start the new year. So that run there, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And what I really enjoyed about that run and what made it so impressive to me was how he improvised along the way. Sometimes on a big play, you just get the football and you take off in a straight line and go. But this time, how about the artistry of that play? That looked a little bit like a Picasso to me.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they go to work on a 1st and goal. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. There you go, Charles. His first touchdown pass in the new season.
And he had a strong rookie year. So much more expected of him this one, as you might imagine. He threw that one with confidence and assuredness. And
I noticed that the celebration a little bit more subdued than his first touchdown pass last year as a rookie.
Yeah, he certainly is acting like he's done it before.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And we are tied here in the second quarter. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, It's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul-searching now. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds till halftime. The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. Back to throw here. A check down here to Jones. Yeah, this defense rallies and they stop him short of the first down right near the 24. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So a change of possession here on the punt.
Why should I use the standard camera angle? Just curious.
Here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the 2nd quarter. Another completion there, and what a big moment in a young quarterback's life, that first NFL start. And Charles, obviously they want him to win games, but if they're looking at him under a microscope in his first month or so, what do you think they're hoping to see from him?
Well, for every question they'll have for him, they should have for themselves as a coaching staff, because it's not just how quickly can he learn the offense, it's what they can teach him, right? How can he build a relationship with his receivers? And, of course, how open is he to learning? And, of course, how open are they to giving him things that he can put in place on the field?
So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll begin out west at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. And it's the 49ers who are out in front with that game closing in on halftime. Trey Lance with a couple of touchdown passes. From there, we slide over to the desert to check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail the visiting Chicago Bears. The Bears trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville. See what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And they are in a tight one, all tied with the visiting Minnesota Vikings. Continuing on, here's a look at the next-gen stats in that first half, and they did have some success running the football in those first 2 quarters, and that might be something they continue to work on as they try to get back in this game. Meanwhile, for the Rams, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football, and whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play. It's a new season, so both of these coaching staffs likely making plenty of adjustments after that first half of football. So for the call of the second half here.
On first down, they'll start out with Akers. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. 8 yards to go on 2nd down.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd.
Back to throw. And he finds Howard complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So a nice throw there. And, CD, I'd have to think you've been impressed with what you've seen thus far here in his debut.
Now, you know me well. I have been impressed because what I've seen
is him starting to understand how to play the game in a short amount of time. The dazzling plays, they'll come and with experience. But right now, we're seeing him handle the game, make all the smart plays and the right reads.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Aaron Donald. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Out of the pistol, the give to Jones. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long 3rd down. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Grover Stewart. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They're going to look to throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now, give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
That's some help for Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. They'll begin on the ground with Akers. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. He'll look to throw. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. Third down. He was out there waving his arm saying, throw it here, dropped it. Not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball. And he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
68 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now he'll try to run with this. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line.
Here we go. Come on, make it happen.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone that has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Still 9 remaining on 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Seahawks have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. All right, now the Seahawks face a big 2-point conversion attempt. They'll try and throw for it. And he will get into the end zone for 2. And this game now tied here in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done. Get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The football going back to the Rams now. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He finds his tight end, Howard. That's complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Some good games around the league here early in week 1, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. He'll get this one to Kupp, complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. The throw over the middle taken in. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another completion there. You know, we think about the draft back in the spring. He was selected, obviously, the #1 overall pick. There's great money with that, but, Charles, I would think maybe an extra burden, too, or is that not that big of a deal at all?
It actually is.
And this is caught inside the 5. And out of bounds all the way down to the 3. A big connection on that one. 30 yards. Well, if you pull up his college highlight reel, you will see no shortage of great throws, and here's one in his NFL debut for big yardage.
And this is going to be a big test early in his career. How accurate can he be on throws like this? If he keeps doing that, he's going to be just fine.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Akers. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Akers again. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown Rams. Cam Akers taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Rams have taken the lead. Lutz good on the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was Cam Akers who capped it off with a touchdown. Taking it about the 1. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Able to find Jones. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. And here we get a look at Stewart down on the ground still. Hope this isn't anything serious. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This is Jones. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. Clock running, and the Seahawks, they're running too, trying to speed up to the line of scrimmage. The give is to Jones. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First down now, but the clock continues to move. He's back to throw. Forced out to his left. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. So they will wave off the flag and let the completion stand.
Really great job by the receiver fighting through all the contact and still coming down with the football. All that great work in practice being put into the game.
Well, they run the option here on 1st and 10. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Carlson on for the PAT. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And the touchdown and PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. L.A. set to take over again on offense. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
They'll look to throw. His throw incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. A gain of 3, second down. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Taking it about the 1. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Seahawks take back over. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
As we said, they control their own destiny now. On second down, it's Jones. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. As a fan of the NFL, for an opener, you can't ask for much more than this overtime in Week 1.
I know it's hard to believe that some people may not have been watching our game, but I'll bet through social media they found out this one was snug and getting into overtime, and they flipped over here in a hurry. This is fantastic. If you're a fan of ball, you love these types of games.
Now he's going to throw deep right side. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. A young quarterback, Charles, rolling to his right. I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran defense ended up winning the battle.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. And it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And he got it. The kick is good. In overtime, he's able to split the uprights. And that will break our tie and give him a 3-point lead. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
I said bow tie. I meant just
either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for L.A., they needed overtime to do it, but they get the Week 1 victory thanks to the field goal.